Hey everybody, thank you for taking part in this training course. The title of this video is Leadership is Servanthood. Leadership is Servanthood. Listen to this account of Jesus' conversation with his disciples in Mark 10, verses 35 to 45. Then James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to him. "Teacher," they said, "we want you to do for us whatever we ask." "What do you want me to do for you?" he asked. They replied, "Let one of us sit at your right and the other at your left in your glory." "You don't know what you're asking," Jesus said. "Can you drink the cup I drink or be baptized with the baptism I am baptized with?" "We can," they answered. Jesus said to them, "You will drink the cup I drink and be baptized with the baptism I am baptized with. But to sit at my right or left is not for me to grant. These places belong to those for whom they have been prepared." When the 10 heard about this, they became indignant with James and John. Jesus called them together and said, "You know that those who are regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many." That last verse is key. Even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. Some people see leadership as position, power, and privilege. They see leadership as this position where they now have status. They are set above other people. Or they see leadership as a position of power, where they're able to now tell other people what to do. Or they see it as a position of privilege, where they're able to demand certain benefits that others may not be able to enjoy. James and John wanted to have the top seats on either side of Jesus. They were evidently very ambitious. Their fellow disciples were indignant, because to them, they were seeing that these two seemed to think that they were somehow better than the rest of them. But as we see, Jesus has a very different view of leadership. Our greatness is not measured by position or by power. It is measured by our service to others. As leaders under Christ, you and I need to understand that any form of leadership is servanthood. Listen now to another conversation, Matthew 23, verses 2 to 11. "The teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat, so you must be careful to do everything they teach. But do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy, cumbersome loads and put them on other people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. Everything they do is for people to see. They make their phylacteries wide, their tassels on their garments long. They love the places of honor at banquets and the most important seats at the synagogues. They love to be greeted with respect in the marketplaces and to be called rabbi by others. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher and you are all brothers. And do not call anyone on earth Father, for you have one Father and he is in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant." In this text, Jesus condemns the religious leaders for their unwillingness to serve others and for their love of position and titles of honor. He commands us not to seek titles that elevate us above our brothers and sisters, but to rather serve the people who we lead. If we have never had this conversation, maybe this will help you to understand why I often say to people, please call me Alan and not Pastor. Last text, 1 Peter 4, verse 10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. Friends, if God has given us the ability and opportunity to lead, we must not abuse it for our own glory or benefit. Rather, we must use this gift of grace to serve God's people. So, that's it for this video. Remember, leadership is servanthood. Please take a moment to make some notes of what you have learned. And then please share any thoughts or questions that you have on the group. See you at the next video. Cheers.